The moment a woman starts treating you like an option, you feel it before you can explain it. You feel it when she replies, only when she feels like it. You feel it when she is warm one day and cold the next. You feel it when she gives you just enough attention to keep you hoping, but not enough consistency to make you feel respected. You feel it when you are sitting there with your phone in your hand, waiting for a reply from someone who used to act like you mattered. And the painful part is not only that she is giving less, the painful part is that you start giving more, you text more, you explain more, you become more careful. You overthink your words, you check her stories, you wait for signs, you become available for crumbs because a small piece of her attention feels better than complete silence. That is where most men lose, not because they care. Caring is not weakness. They lose because they start acting like their value depends on whether she finally chooses them properly. Listen carefully. A man does not become her priority by begging not to be an option. He becomes a man with standards. He becomes calm. He steps back. He stops overinvesting in low effort. He stops treating mixed signals like a mystery he has to solve. He rebuilds his life so deeply that her inconsistency no longer controls his identity. And before this is over, you are going to understand the 5 ways to handle a woman who treats you like an option without chasing, without begging, without becoming bitter, and without losing yourself. Because the goal is not to manipulate her into valuing you. The goal is to become a man who would never abandon himself for someone who cannot choose him clearly. The first way is this: stop rewarding low effort with high effort. That is the mistake most men make. She gives less, so he gives more. She gets distant, so he becomes warmer. She replies late, so he starts double texting. She becomes unclear, so he becomes more available. She acts casual, and he gives relationship level emotional energy. He thinks he is showing love. But what he is really showing is fear of losing her, fear of being replaced, fear of not being enough, fear that if he stops trying, the connection will die. But if something only survives because you keep chasing it, it is not standing on mutual effort. It is standing on your fear that truth hurts, but it frees you. A woman who values you will not need you to chase basic communication forever. She may be busy. She may have her own life. She may need space sometimes. But interest has a pattern. Respect has a pattern. Effort has a pattern. When someone is truly interested, you do not constantly feel like you are trying to pull warmth out of a cold wall. So when she gives low effort, do not respond with panic. Respond with adjustment. If she is taking hours or days to reply with dry energy, stop writing paragraphs. If she cancels plans and does not reschedule, do not keep chasing another chance. If she only texts when she is bored, do not become her emotional entertainment. If she gives you confusion, do not give her your full heart. Match reality, not fantasy. Reality says she is not showing consistent effort right now. Fantasy says maybe if I love her harder, she will change. Reality says I am losing peace. Fantasy says maybe this is just how love works. No love can be complex, but basic respect should not feel like begging. A strong man does not punish low effort. He simply stops over rewarding it. That is different. He does not send angry messages. He does not insult. He does not try to make her jealous. He does not write, fine, I guess you don't care about me. That is wounded energy. A grounded man just pulls his investment back to match what is real. If she is unclear, he does not act like she is committed. If she is inconsistent, he does not give consistent emotional access. If she is casual, he does not make her the center of his world. That is not a game. That is self-respect because access to you have value. Your attention should have value. Your time should have value. Your emotional energy should have value. If you keep giving those things to someone who treats you like an option, you teach her and yourself that your value is negotiable. Do not teach that lesson. The second way is this: stop chasing clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion. This one is hard because when a woman treats you like an option, you want answers. You want to ask, what are we? You want to ask, do you still care? You want to ask, why are you acting different? You want to ask, is there someone else? You want to ask, do I matter to you or not? And sometimes a clear conversation is needed. A mature man can communicate, but most men do not ask from calm. They ask from panic. They ask because their nervous system is burning. They ask because they want reassurance right now. They ask because the uncertainty is hurting them. And when you ask from panic, you do not sound like a man seeking truth. You sound like a man begging for emotional medicine. That is why you must slow down. A woman who is treating you like an option may give vague answers because vague answers keep the door open without requiring responsibility. She may say, I'm just busy. She may say, I don't know what I want. She may say, let's just see where it goes. She may say, why are you overthinking? She may say enough to keep you close, but not enough to give you peace. And if you keep chasing clarity from vague energy, you will exhaust yourself. A grounded man understands that behavior is clarity. If she wants you but never makes time, that is clarity. If she says she cares but disappears when you need consistency, that is clarity. If she gets jealous when you move on but cold when you are available, that is clarity. If she only reaches out when lonely, bored, or needing validation, that is clarity. If she keeps you confused after you have already communicated calmly, that is clarity. You do not always need another conversation. Sometimes the pattern is the answer. That line matters. Sometimes the pattern is the answer. A weak man keeps asking for words because he does not want to accept the behavior. A strong man sees the behavior and adjusts. This does not mean he becomes bitter. It means he stops negotiating with reality. If she is treating you like an option, you can say once calmly, I value consistency and mutual effort. If that is not where you are, I understand, but I am not going to keep investing in something unclear. Then you stop talking and watch. That is powerful because it is not needy. It is not angry. It is not trying to control her. It is simply stating your standard. But after you state it, you have to live it. Because if you say you do not accept confusion, then keep accepting confusion. Your words become decoration. A standard only becomes real when your behavior protects it. That is where men are tested. It is easy to talk about self respect when she is warm. It is easy to say you have standards when she is replying fast. It is easy to feel strong when she is giving attention. The real test is when she becomes inconsistent and you still refuse to chase. That is where your frame is built. The third way is this: do not become emotionally available to a woman who is emotionally unavailable to you. This is one of the biggest traps. She treats you like an option, but still wants your comfort. She does not choose you clearly, but still wants to text when she is lonely. She does not give you consistency, but still wants your emotional support. She does not make you a priority, but still expects you to be there when her life gets hard. And because you care, you show up. You listen, you comfort, you reassure, you become the safe place. You become the man she can lean on, even though she is not treating you with the same care. You think, if I keep being there, she will realize I am different. But sometimes she only realizes that she can have your emotional support without giving you emotional security. Do not become a backup plan with a good heart. That line matters. Do not become a backup plan with a good heart. If a woman is not choosing you clearly, stop giving her the benefits of a man who is fully chosen. Stop giving relationship energy to a situationship. Stop giving husband level emotional labor to someone giving you maybe level effort. This does not mean you become cruel. It means you create boundaries. If she texts you only when she is upset but disappears when you want clarity, you step back. If she wants comfort but avoids accountability, you step back. If she wants your attention but keeps her options open, you step back. If she wants emotional closeness without mutual respect, you step back, not to punish her, to protect yourself. A man with self respect can be kind without becoming available for confusion. He can say, I care about you, but I cannot be your emotional support while you keep me in an unclear place. That is strong. He can say, I respect you, but I am not going to act like your partner while being treated like an option. That is strong. He can say, I am open to something real, but I am not available for mixed signals. That is strong. Then he lets her actions answer. A woman who respects you will understand that access has responsibility. A woman who only wanted your energy may pull away when she realizes you are no longer easy. Let that happen. You need truth more than temporary comfort. Because temporary comfort can keep you trapped in a cycle where she gives you just enough to keep you attached, but not enough to give you peace. And peace matters. The fourth way is this: build a life she cannot control with her attention. Because the reason being treated like an option hurts so much is often because your life has started orbiting around her. Her reply decides your mood, her silence decides your anxiety, her warmth decides your hope, her distance decides your self worth. Her attention becomes the event of your day, her absence becomes the pain of your night. That is dangerous. No woman should become the remote control for your entire emotional life. A man must have a center. Your center is your purpose, your discipline. Your routine, your body, your work, your money, your faith, your standards, your direction. When you lose your center, you become easy to move. One delayed reply moves you. One cold message moves you. One story post moves you. One hey moves you. One I miss you moves you. You become less like a man with a mission and more like a man waiting for permission to feel okay. That is not masculine power. That is emotional dependence. And emotional dependence makes you tolerate optional treatment because you fear losing the person who gives you emotional highs. So build a life that can hold you. For the next 7 days, do not message her first from panic. Do not check her stories. Do not ask mutual friends about her. Do not post to get her attention. Do not make emotional decisions at night. Do not reread old messages until your chest hurts. Do not send a soft message when what you really want is reassurance. Put that energy into training, work, money, sleep, discipline, faith, emotional control, and rebuilding your identity. Train your body even when your mind feels heavy. Clean your space even when your emotions feel messy. Fix your sleep because tired men make weak decisions. Eat properly because heartbreak drains your focus. Walk when anxiety hits. Write what you want to say, but do not send it from panic. Put your phone away before midnight. Build your day before your emotions build it for you. This is not about pretending you do not care. It is about proving that her attention does not own you. Every time you do not chase, you rebuild self trust. Every time you do not check, you rebuild control. Every time you do not beg for clarity from someone choosing confusion, you rebuild dignity. Every time you keep your routine while hurting, you become stronger. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself. You said you would not chase, do not chase. You said you would not beg, do not beg. You said you would not abandon your standards, do not abandon them. That is how a man becomes solid. And a solid man is harder to treat like an option. Not because he threatens to leave every 5 minutes, not because he acts cold, not because he plays games, because his life has weight, his attention has value, his peace has boundaries, his presence is no longer automatic. That changes everything. The fifth way is this: be willing to walk away without needing revenge. This is the final level because you can say all the right things. You can talk about self respect. You can talk about standards. You can say you will not be an option. But if you are not willing to walk away, your standards have no power. A boundary without the willingness to leave is only a wish. That is the hard truth. If she knows you will stay no matter how she treats you, your words will not matter. If she knows one soft message can pull you back, your silence will not matter. If she knows you will complain but never leave, your boundary will not matter. A man must be willing to lose the woman to keep himself. If you are not willing to lose her, you will eventually lose yourself. That does not mean you walk away dramatically. It does not mean you threaten. It does not mean you say, you'll regret this. It does not mean you try to make her suffer. You simply stop participating in a dynamic that damages your peace. If she treats you like an option, you step back. If she continues, you walk. No drama, no begging, no long emotional speech, no childish revenge, just dignity. A weak man wants her to feel pain so he can feel powerful. A strong man wants his peace back so he can keep building. Revenge still keeps you attached. Bitterness still keeps you attached. Wanting her to suffer still keeps you attached. Living for her regret still keeps you attached. Freedom is different. Freedom says, I do not need to hurt you. I just refuse to abandon myself again. That is real masculine maturity. Now, if she comes back after treating you like an option, you must stay calm. This is where most men fail. They finally step back. They finally stop chasing. They finally rebuild a little strength. Then she sends a message: Hey, I miss you. I've been thinking about you. Why are you acting different? And suddenly the old man wakes up. He replies too fast. He writes too much. He explains everything. He asks if she wants him. He turns one small message into a full emotional conversation. He acts like he has been waiting by the phone the whole time. And she feels it. She feels that he did not really grow. He was just waiting. Do not be that man. A small message is not a full return. A hey is not accountability. A miss you is not change behavior. A story view is not love. A late night text is not proof that she is ready. A woman touching the door is not the same as a woman walking through it with clarity. If she says, hey, you can say, hey, hope you're doing well. That is enough. Then observe. Does she bring clarity? Does she show consistency? Does she take responsibility? Does she respect your pace? Does she communicate with maturity? Or does she only want to see if she still has access to your emotions? A needy man gets drunk on words. A grounded man watches actions. Do not get drunk on words. Words are easy when someone is lonely. Words are easy when guilt appears. Words are easy when nostalgia gets loud at night. But consistency is harder. Accountability is harder. Respecting boundaries is harder. That is why you move slowly. If she says, I miss you, you can say, I hear you. What made you reach out? If she says, I've been thinking about us, you can say, I understand. What do you want to do with that? If she says, can we talk? You can say, we can talk, but I am not rushing back into anything. These are not games. They are calm boundaries. They invite clarity without begging. They show openness without desperation. They protect your peace without attacking her. A real return can handle patience. A fake return usually cannot. If she genuinely values you, she will respect that trust and access take time. If she only wanted emotional access, she may disappear when she realizes you are not easy anymore. Let that happen. You need truth more than temporary comfort because comfort can pull you back into the same cycle. Truth sets you free. Now, understand something deeper. Being treated like an option can become addictive if you are not careful because the hot and cold pattern creates emotional highs and lows. She pulls away, you feel anxiety. She comes back, you feel relief. She goes cold, you feel pain. She sends a small message, you feel hope. And over time, your brain starts confusing relief with love, but relief is not love. Relief is what you feel when someone temporarily stops triggering your insecurity. Real love feels steadier than that. Real love has effort. Real love has respect. Real love has honesty. Real love has consistency. Real love does not require you to become smaller so someone else can stay comfortable. So ask yourself honestly, do you want this woman because she is good for your peace? Or do you want her because finally being chosen would heal the wound of feeling optional? Do you miss her character or do you miss the validation? Do you want a healthy relationship or do you want proof that you were enough? These questions matter because sometimes a man does not want the woman back. He wants his ego repaired. He wants the rejection reversed. He wants the uncertainty to end so he can finally breathe. But that is not healing. That is still being controlled by the wound. Real healing is when you no longer need someone's attention to feel valuable. Real healing is when you can say, if she meets me with respect, I will decide from strength. If she does not, I will keep walking. That is freedom. A needy man says, please choose me so I can feel okay. A free man says, if you choose me clearly, I will listen. If not, I choose myself. That is different energy. And that energy is hard to treat casually. Now let us talk about communication. If you are being treated like an option, you do not need to give a dramatic speech. You do not need to write a novel. You do not need to list every time she hurt you. You do not need to beg her to understand your pain. Say less, but mean more. You can say, I like consistency and mutual effort. If that is not where you are, I understand, but I am not going to keep investing in something unclear. Then stop. Do not argue for hours. Do not explain the same standard 20 times. Do not keep asking if she understands. A standard repeated too often becomes a request. A standard lived once becomes a boundary. That is important. If she respects it, you will see it. If she does not, you will see that too. Either way, you get truth. And truth is better than confusion. Now, do not confuse self respect with ego. Self respect says, I will not stay where I am not valued. Ego says, I need to make her feel stupid for not valuing me. Self respect says, I can walk away clean. Ego says, I need revenge. Self respect says, I care, but I will not lose myself. Ego says, I will pretend I never cared. Be careful. Do not become cold and call it strength. Do not become bitter and call it healing. Do not disrespect women because one woman hurt you. Do not make your pain your personality. A mature man does not need to hate women to have boundaries. He simply knows what he will not participate in. That is enough. Now, if she starts treating you better after you step back, do not become arrogant. Do not punish her. Do not say, now you want me? Do not use your new power to play games. That is childish. A mature man observes, if she brings effort, he meets effort. If she brings clarity, he meets clarity. If she brings respect, he gives respect. If she brings consistency, he lets trust build slowly. But he does not forget the lesson. He does not rush. He does not collapse. He does not reopen full access in one moment because trust is not rebuilt by one good day. Trust is rebuilt by repeated behavior. Consistency reveals what emotion hides. Emotion can happen in one night. Consistency shows up over time. Emotion says, I miss you. Consistency says, I will not keep treating you like an option. That is what you watch. Now, if she keeps treating you like an option, accept the answer. Do not keep trying to force priority from someone who keeps giving optional effort. Let her go, not with hatred, with clarity. You can care and still leave. You can love and still choose peace. You can miss her and still refuse confusion. You can hope she grows and still not wait around for it. That is strength. Tonight, when you feel tempted to text from panic, do not text. When you want to check her stories to see if she is thinking about you, do not check. When you want to ask a friend what she is doing, do not ask. When you want to post something to make her notice, do not perform. Come back to yourself. Put the phone down. Stand up. Drink water. Walk. Train. Pray. Work on sleep. Build. Do one thing that makes tomorrow better. Because discipline is how a man tells heartbreak. You can hurt me, but you cannot lead me. That is the man who stops being an option, not the man who begs, not the man who folds, not the man who waits in confusion because he is afraid to lose access. The man who cares but does not chase. The man who loves but does not abandon himself. The man who gives but does not become empty. The man who watches actions, protects peace, and moves with standards. That man's hard to treat casually. That man is hard to manipulate. That man is hard to replace. That man is free. So remember the 5 ways. Stop rewarding low effort with high effort. Stop chasing clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion. Stop being emotionally available to someone who is emotionally unavailable to you. Build a life she cannot control with her attention, and be willing to walk away without needing revenge. That is how you handle women who treat you like an option, not by begging, not by proving, not by chasing, not by becoming bitter. By becoming a man whose self respect is stronger than his fear of losing her. And in the next video, you will learn the quiet signs she knows you are no longer an option and how to handle her return without giving away the power you worked so hard to rebuild.